Hey guys, Joe here with Steel Ops. Hey, our body armor's been getting most of the attention lately, and that's because it's a great product. But we also make steel targets. We do custom security solutions too. We do a variety of things other than body armor. But I wanted to talk about our steel targets today. Now, posting pictures on Instagram of your new body armor is definitely going to give you more clout than posting pictures of steel targets, but these you'll actually end up using. So they're pretty great. What makes these targets great, guys, is the setup method and the way that they're assembled. Now, there's a lot of people out there using these targets. The Marshal Service, military, AK Operators Union, they constantly beat the crap out of our targets in their videos. Chris Costa, if you've ever been to one of his courses up in Wyoming, you'll be shooting on these targets. We've even sent some overseas to pull in our tactical, and they practice their slop squats. But the reason that these targets are so popular is, again, because of the setup method and because of the steel that we use. All of our steel armor, or I'm sorry, all of our steel targets use a 3/8 AR-550 steel. That's not to say that AR-500 is bad, but this stuff's just a little bit better. It's a little bit more durable. It's going to last a little bit longer. All of these three targets also enable you to rotate the shooting surface. That means when you shoot one side and it wears out, you just flip it over, shoot it back the other direction, and you basically are getting two targets when you buy one of these systems. The setup method for these targets is what makes them unique to any other target on the market. This is a patented design that uses the target itself to actually drive the post into the ground. Now, a lot of guys might wonder, why is that so important? And I'll tell you, it's because this is a very experience-based design. This design came from guys that go out and shoot in areas just like this a lot. Every weekend going out, setting up steel targets. When you start to think about it, if you're having to lug around H-frame stands and bolts and hardware and hammers and stakes and 2x4s, all that stuff starts to get pretty cumbersome after a lot of trips to the range. This system right here is incredibly simple. It allows you to set up on hills, berms, on various different terrain, and you get the same end result. Whereas with stands, they have a tendency to fall over or require stakes and sandbags. Some of the stands have a tendency to turn when being hit with large calibers. These targets do not do any of those things. They're pretty great. So I'm going to walk you through how to set the target up, and then we'll talk about some of the accessories that go on these targets. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to set one of these targets up. Before I do, notice that this entire target system can be carried in one hand. That's done utilizing this hook on the back of the target. This is our post hook, and then these are the KISS tubes. I'll talk more about later what those are actually for. But to set this target up, what you want to do is establish where you're going to be shooting from. In this case, we're just going to pick somewhere over there. You're going to take the target and lay it face down, facing where you're going to be shooting from. The post has a square end and then an end that's been 45'd. Okay? You're going to take the post and you're going to slide the square end into the tube all the way until it hits. Then from that post hook or the carry handle, just lean the target up and kind of dig the target or the post into the ground. From here, guys, what you want to do is establish your forward lean. If you're going to be shooting close, you'll want to lean that target forward a little bit more. If you're going to be shooting at range, go on ahead and just set it up straight vertical so that you have the most surface area to shoot at. From here, once you've established your lean, you're just going to take the target, lift it up, and slam it back down onto the post, sort of like a post pounder, and drive the post into the ground. When it's set up correctly, it should be about the same height as a person. That's what this target was designed to do, is give you a realistic, real-world representation of a human body, both in terms of height and width. So to get the target out of the ground, guys, we get this question a lot. How do you get the post out of the ground? Guys, don't overthink it. Unless you're shooting on a gun range with like well-manicured grass, just take the target and throw it on the ground. Okay, take the post out. Slide it over your post hook. Pick your target up and go home. These targets come with a lot of different accessories that you can add on later. You'll notice the cost on the website doesn't actually save you anything if you buy the whole setup or if you piece this stuff together later on. It's the same price. So first of all, let's talk about the hostage flipper. Guys, this is a hostage flipper. It is compatible between both of these target systems. It is not compatible on the T5. So if you have a T5, you won't be able to use the flipper. To install the flipper, super easy. There's a tube on the back of the stand. You're going to set that rod in there. Make sure that it passes between the two keeper tabs, and then just swing it to the side. That pipe is cut at a 45-degree angle to make sure that the flipper is always facing forward. Pretty cut and dry. You can interchange that between both target systems. Same method. Another cool accessory about these targets is, again, on the back of the post, you'll see two tubes. On the T5, there's only one, but on these posts, there's two tubes. These posts are the same, so we try to keep things as modular as we possibly can. Our dueling tree, the T3, and the IPSC all utilize the exact same post. And again, it has two attachment points. Those attachment points are for these. These are called our kiss racks, and they hold gongs below your target system. This makes for a really great drill if you're trying to use hand identification for establishing if something's a threat. A lot of guys will take and paint one of these gongs red to indicate that that particular target is a threat. It trains people to look at hands rather than face and chest. It has two attachment points, so you can actually hang up to 4 gongs below the target in both places, and they literally just drop in. The weight of the gongs is what's going to keep the kiss rack in there, and again, it's modular between all 3 systems. So another couple features about these targets. The bolts that we use, guys, are a ultra hard carriage bolt. We have bolt failure is really uncommon, but we do sell replacement bolts on our web store. There's nothing, aside from the hardness, there's nothing super special about these bolts. You could just go down to a hardware store and replace them. You don't have to buy the bolts from us, but the ones that we do sell, like I said, are ultra hard, and they handle direct impacts incredibly well. You'll also notice that our targets, compared to a lot of other companies, are powder coated, not painted. All of this is going to come to you powder coated all the way around. So for those of you setting up targets and leaving them out, this coating is going to hold up far better than spray paint. You're not going to get rust and stuff like that built up in the parts. One thing to note, the posts, guys, are not armor. Okay, you will, if you miss, if you're a bad shot like I am and miss, you're going to punch a hole in your post. So don't shoot your post if you can avoid it. That being said, the reason that we use steel posts instead of things like 2x4s or T-posts is that this post, even riddled with holes, still does its job, which is to hold the target up. So compared to a 2x4 or T-post that after 2 or 3 impacts is basically ruined, these posts hold up just significantly better. We also sell replacement posts, so if you do end up ruining it, you can go to our web store and buy a replacement. More than anything, guys, what we wanted to show today is just that we sell things other than body armor. Go to our website, check it out. If you're looking to get into steel targets cheap, our quick rack and gong is an awesome setup that's very popular and a super easy way to get started with steel. As always, guys, thanks for being Steel Ops customers and supporters. We'll talk to you guys later.